Have you ever really stopped to think about what makes you you? Understanding our unique identity is the key to unlocking our authentic voice. And imagine breaking free from fears and societal molds to freely express your true self and to make every choice in a way that deeply resonates with who you truly are deep inside. So let's confront these common obstacles. Let's arm you with practical strategies, whether it's through introspection or embracing a growth mindset or even finding strength within your community. So today's episode is your guide to not just finding your voice, but using it to shape your world. So if you're ready to jump into this transformative journey, let's dive in. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe now so you can join us on every episode. We truly appreciate it. And be sure to engage in the comments section of your favorite platform for your chance to be invited as a guest on one of our episodes. Welcome back to the Life Design Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Borland, aka Coach Michael. Today, the aim is to inspire you to reflect on your own identity and how to express yourself through your voice. And I'm not just referring to the words you say to speaking. These insights that we're going to be discussing today, they're a catalyst for personal and professional growth and for a life that's full of both meaning and fulfillment. So let's start with an understanding of identity. What exactly is our personal identity? Well, simply put, it's the essence of who you are. Or to explain it with some colorful details, it's kind of a combination of our values, of our beliefs and experiences, and even our aspirations. And keep in mind, it's not a static thing. It actually evolves over time and as we grow and as we experience life. If we look at it from a context of personal growth, understanding our identity is about delving into all of these layers so that we understand what truly drives us, what we actually stand for, and what makes us uniquely us, or what makes you uniquely you. So, how do we actually learn to recognize these parts of ourselves? That's one of the most common questions that I get. And that's really where the importance of self-awareness comes in. It's a key in this journey, and it really involves being mindful of our thoughts, being mindful of our emotions, and specifically our behaviors. It also includes recognizing whether those things actually serve us in moving forward in the direction that we want to go, or whether they hinder us, whether they slow us down or send us in the wrong direction. In addition, it's how we recognize our strengths and weaknesses and how we recognize the patterns that we use and how those patterns define our lives. Getting to this level of awareness, it's crucial because it's the first step in making intentional changes toward the person that we aspire to be. So let me pause for a second and actually explain it from a transformational coaching perspective. Let's say your current personal identity is a mother who spent years raising successfully, let me say that, successfully raising a family, running a household, and maybe even working, I don't know, at a community bank, okay? Or maybe you're a father. Maybe you're someone who spent 25 years, managing a team at a mid-sized company. But your goal is to be a business owner or maybe to retire, pretty soon and to focus on things that are your passions. Regardless of what combination those things may be or whatever your specific current, we'll say, personal identity is, your first task should be to update that personal identity, the one that you hold of yourself. What do I mean by that? Well, if I were to ask you about yourself, you should be able to clearly explain yourself, okay, as the person that you're transitioning into, as the person that you want to evolve into, not as the person you've been for the last 20, 25 years or whatever time frame. If I ask you that and you still explain yourself as that mother and banker or father and team manager, you're not ready to make that transition. I get it. I know that's painful to think about or to hear that, but it's true. Because when you become the person, you will succeed in the goal. And I'm going to repeat that. It's not the other way around. We don't go succeed and then that's what makes us the person. When we become the person that we're aspiring to be, we succeed in that goal or in that, in that path, in that thing that we're aspiring for within our lives. Let me ask it this way. What do you do first? Do you mix the ingredients or do you bake the cake? Simple answer. You mix the ingredients first. Here's the thing to remember. You are the ingredients. Your goal or your future that you want to attain is the baking of the cake. And those fulfilling results that you experience afterwards, those are the frosting that you apply on the top. I know some of you may not like frosting, but go with me here. If you want to enjoy eating that cake, you have to prepare the ingredients before you bake it. Are you catching on here? You are the ingredients. Your goals are the baking of the cake and the results you want from them. That's putting the frosting on, right? And enjoying those results is the eating of the cake. If you screw up the order, it doesn't work out. Simple explanation. Factual to how it works. You want to enjoy eating that cake, you have to prepare the ingredients first, and you're the ingredients. So let's look real quick at the concept of defining the voice. Okay. Your voice is how you express your identity to the world. Okay. It's not just about speaking. It's not just about the words you use. It's about how do you communicate your ideas, your values, your beliefs. Now, obviously, that's partly with words, but it's primarily through your choices and through your actions. And of course, you hear me talk a lot. Words are powerful. Words create. They create because we make specific choices and we take specific actions. And when we're finding our voice, it boils down to being authentic and being brave enough to let your true self be seen and heard. So the key to it, the key is that your voice emerges. Again, we're not talking about just speaking. We're talking about the voice of your identity. It emerges clearly after you understand the identity, who you truly are at your core. And that may be who you truly want to become. Because if you want to become more, this is hard to grasp, but that's who we truly are at our core. We are that evolved person. When we start to recognize that and when we accept that, that's when we can make those changes. So when you truly know who you are, what you believe in, what you value in life, okay, your voice, the way you express that identity to the world, it naturally aligns with that level of clarity and understanding, which means if you don't have a clarity and a true understanding of who you are at your core and who you want to be, how you present it out to the world is muddled. It's foggy. It's unclear because you're unclear. And that's why people misread us a lot of the time. So if you think about it, it kind of boils down to congruence, right? When our words and our actions and our life choices, when they all resonate with our true self. You may have heard something similar. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about it. Tony Robbins, there's hundreds of other people. It's called mind-heart coherence. And this is very similar to that. It's when our identity and the voice that we use to share that identity with the world is congruent or coherent, we make those progresses. We attain those things that we are striving for. So why does this matter? What is the impact of strength in that part, that kind of voice? Well, for one, it has profound impacts on our personal and our professional lives, right? It can mean standing up for your beliefs. It can mean inspiring other people. It can mean leading with integrity. Lord knows we are desperate for more leadership with integrity in today's world. But it starts with us. We can't keep looking to other people for that. It starts with us. So, for instance, consider someone who recently overcame maybe a fear of public speaking. Okay? This allows them to advocate for a cause that they're passionate about. Once they find that voice inside themselves, it becomes a powerful tool for generating both influence as well as creating change. And don't get me wrong, you don't have to want to change the entire world. This is about changing your world, your sphere of influence, what affects you and how you affect others. So let's look at some of the common obstacles that we face in discovering both our identity and our true voice. First and foremost, what about overcoming social and cultural expectations? Right? Many people struggle with pressures to conform to norms or to follow these predefined paths that are set by other people who have platforms to speak from. Okay, whether it's careers, lifestyle, or beliefs, what have you. And we're seeing this like crazy right now. We're seeing it on college campuses. We're seeing it in groups of people who are coming out and doing these protests, quite frankly, over something they don't even understand the details behind the scenes. All they're seeing is what media is presenting, and they're out there creating these platforms, or they're finding people, they're seeing people who have created these platforms, and they're following them blindly without truly doing their own research. What if to assure that what our passions are, of what we are voicing, what if we stop for a moment and asked ourselves, am I wrong in anything that you believe in, that you have a passion for? Am I wrong? Are they wrong? Are these people that I'm getting involved with, are they wrong? And then actually looking into the details from all sides so that we can come up with a platform of integrity that truly speaks to who we are, to who we want to be at our core. Okay? Because these internal influences, they can cloud our true identity. They can influence us at a level that turns us into something without us even knowing, turns us into someone that we don't want to be. And they can they can actually suppress our own authentic voice, even though we think we're expressing ourselves in the way we want to. We can often do it off of, and I don't like to use this word today, but misinformation. We can do it off of bad information. So, and it's simple. It happens because we're giving into expectations of other people, of our friends, of our family, of our community, and they may not have right information. So, how do we overcome these obstacles? How do we overcome these influences that are getting in our way of us being who we truly want to be, and having integrity within that? Well, it's essential, first of all, to practice both introspection, looking inside, and self-acceptance. Okay. Once we get to the level where we can do this, and don't worry, we're going to touch on that in a little bit more in a minute. Once we get to the point where we can do that, where we recognize and acknowledge that these external pressures affect us, that's the next step, right? We recognize it, we acknowledge it, we recognize it, and then we can acknowledge that these external pressures are actually affecting us. Okay. From there, it requires learning to let go of the need for external validation. Okay. And being able to focus on what truly resonates with our internal self, not just this desire to feel connected to something larger, but assuring that that something larger is truly who we want to be at our core. And don't get me wrong, this process isn't easy. It requires a lot of patience and a lot of perseverance. And I need to point something else out in this regard, and that is the role of mindset, which is crucial in all of this. It's crucial in life. You know that if you listen to anything on my podcast, any of my messages at all, read my books, mindset is crucial. Adopting a growth mindset, specifically where challenges are seen as an opportunity for learning and for growth, okay, this is what makes our personal transformations possible. This is what makes it possible for us to go from who we are and where we are today to who we want to be and where we want to be in the near future. So it's important to understand that the journey of finding our identity and finding our own voice, it's not a straight path. Okay. It's a winding road. It's got twists and turns. It's got ups and downs, but each one of those actually teaches us a valuable lesson. So once we recognize this, what are the strategies? What are the practical tips to discovering this personal identity and this true personal voice? Okay, they're not secrets. The strategies and tips for this, they're not some magical special trick that's been kept from you. They're simple, unimpressive exercises that most of us choose not to do because we don't believe they work. But they do work. Okay, I'm talking simple activities like journaling. We hear this all the time. Okay, journaling can offer tremendous insights into our thoughts, our feelings and emotions, our goals, what we want versus what we don't want. It offers incredible insights into things that we otherwise might not pay attention to. Okay, what else? Reflective exercises. What do I mean by that? Things like writing a personal mission statement. If I can spit that out here. Okay. What in the world am I talking about? Who does mission statements? That's something a company does, right? Let me tell you who does mission statements. Highly, highly successful people. do mission statements. Why? Because it gives you a focus. It gives you a direction for what you're looking for. Not just thinking, hey, I want to accomplish this, actually putting it in writing. Most of you have probably heard that the study that was done, what was it, Harvard, I think, drawing a blank right now, back in the 50s, right? 3% of the class wrote down their goals. They wrote down mission statements for themselves. 97% didn't. And many, many years later, that 3%, they were the highly successful group. They were worth more. They had attained more successes than the 97% that didn't. This is not fluff. This is not, pie in the sky. These are the things that work, and they are this simple. They work because doing the exercises, it actually crystallizes aspects of your identity and of how you wish to express that identity, of that voice. Well, you might ask, if these exercises are all internal and they're so personal, meaning I can do them myself, then what role does coaching or mentorship play? Mr. Coach Michael, right? I hear that one a bit too. Well, and the fact is, obviously, there are some variables. First off, what are your goals? Huge variable in how things play out. What are the methodologies that someone uses in that coaching or within that mentorship relationship? Okay. What are the personalities of the individuals involved? That's huge. You may have heard that on one of the podcasts from the Mental Health Mondays. The relationship of a therapist and a client is key to the success. Well, it's the same in coaching or mentorship. And I don't care if it's personal life, relationships, business, it doesn't matter. The personalities of the two people working together, they have to jive, right? They have to fit together to get the maximum benefit. However, just because you feel a little challenged by someone that's mentoring you, actually, let me put it this way. You want that. You want them. Not hardcore challenging, not beating you down. But if they're not challenging you, you're not really growing. Okay? You're not getting new perspectives. You're not truly finding parts of you that you didn't realize existed. Your personal identity, your voice, right? So, the coaching itself or the mentorship itself, it plays a pivotal role in our personal journey. Okay. A coach can provide, for one, they provide an outside perspective. Number one, obviously. They challenge limiting beliefs. Okay. That's the core of what I do. Challenge limiting beliefs. Okay. There's a core. We offer guidance and support and a number of other things. Okay. We help in setting goals that align with your true identity. Okay. Developing a plan to find and use that voice effectively. Okay. Effectively. Not just out there screaming at the top of your lungs because you came across some battle you think you want to fight. Using it effectively in a way that aligns with the person you want to be. Not just to fit in, but to fit in effectively in a way that serves you long term. So, that being said, what then are the benefits of a strong community or a strong support system? Well, whether it's maybe a group of like-minded, individuals in a mastermind or something, friends, family, or an online community, okay? Being surrounded by people who both encourage you, but who understand your journey is powerful. And I'm not saying they're on the same journey that you're on, but they understand the concept of being deep in that journey of trying to strive forward. because quite frankly, a lot of people don't want to. And a lot of us, we want to strive forward at different levels. But understanding that journey itself and being supportive in it, right? They can offer feedback, encouragement, that sense of belonging that we talked about. We're seeing people go completely off the wall just to have some sort of sense of belonging, right? These things are vital in any process, but specifically in the process of self-discovery and self-expression. And a lot of people, they regret later on the self-expression, the way they express themselves. And once it's out there, we can't take it back. So the point to all this is that if we want to accomplish more in life, to feel more peace or more joy or more fulfillment, okay, our choices and our goals need to be in alignment with who we truly are, who we want to be, with what truly matters to us. You want to stand up for other people? Understand the situation fully when you do so. Prior to doing so, mix the ingredients before you bake that cake. Okay, go gather all the ingredients before you start, putting them together and baking that cake. It's look, if what you strive for, if what you go after, if what you express, the voice that you use is not in alignment with who you truly want to be, it's like scoring the winning points for the other team. Sure, you made it to the goal, but it wasn't even your goal. It was a goal for the other team. Okay? Sometimes it's like winning the scoring points on a field or in a game, in a sport, using sports, that you're not even playing. You want to make it to your goal, but you want it to be your goal. You want it to be the goal that truly resonates with who you are and who you want to be. That way, you're not looking back with regrets, or you're not winding up lost and trying to start over again. So I hope this episode really resonated with you and gave you something to think about. Share in the comments. Let me know. Follow, subscribe, engage. Reach out to me. Let's have the conversation. If you want to be a guest, say so. Maybe we'll put together a group of a few people to be guests on the podcast all at one time and have some of these discussions and walk through some of them. Actually work on figuring out your true personal identity, your true voice, the one you should be expressing, so that a year, 5 years, 10 years from now, you look back and you recognize that, wow, I've gone so much further than I ever thought possible because I figured out who I truly want to be, who I truly am, what truly matters to me, and how to express that. So, as always, thank you for joining me today. Again, please share, please follow or subscribe, please engage. That is what we're here for. I look forward to sharing more with you. I look forward to meeting you, maybe having you on the podcast. And until then, live awesome and enjoy your journey.